Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. What's going on, guys? Samuel Momo Sam. Let's see you back with another movie review for you all today. As for today's movie review, I am here to review Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is the long-awaited sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, which came out in 2018. And here we still follow the adventures of Miles Morales as Granted, mysterious threat comes on friends to the Spider Society. Miles is going on taken into this team of Spider people called the Spider Society, led by Spider-Man in 2099, to figure out how to handle this new threat. Now, if you guys know, this film actually was my most anticipated movie of 2023. Like, I was pumped as hell for this movie because, firstly, if you guys don't know, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. Like, if you ask me who is my favorite superhero, I would always say Spider-Man. Because I always get to a lot of characters that I can relate to a lot, and Spider-Man is definitely the most relatable superhero probably ever, because he's really just a teenager, adult trying to juggle his responsibilities of being a superhero and while also trying to have an actual life. And sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do. Sometimes it's obviously not the easiest thing to do with being a superhero, which I know a lot of superhero stories definitely revolve around that, but I think Across the Spider-Verse I think Spider-Man definitely is the epitome of that, and I think that's what makes his best movies and his best stories is when they go deep into what makes Spider-Man just a compelling character and all the trauma and just hardships that he always has to go through. Those are always, my opinion, the best Spider-Man movies. I mean, it's probably one reason why I adored No Way Home that came out a couple years ago, or even the first Into the Spider-Verse, which, yeah, I remember not being excited for at all, but it actually blew me away, and it's definitely one of the best Spider-Man movies out there. A film that I'd probably grow to love more and more I watch it. Especially with that being a Sony animated movie, and back then the projects weren't really the most received. I mean, hell, there's the same people that did the freaking Emoji movie, so that should probably tell you something. But yeah, I was definitely pumped for a sequel, and the more the trailers came out, the more I was really pumped for it and everything. Not just that they might get a lot of expanded references, but want to see more adventures of Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, who this one I think definitely boasted Miles Morales up into the stratosphere in terms of character, and also helped that he was also in the 2018 Spider-Man games. Actually, that was pretty interesting. So Miles Morales is definitely a character that's been now boosted to popularity. Hell, it's really revealed that he's actually going to give his own live-action movie, which I'm very excited about. And even with this being like part one of its two-part story, I was again still very pumped. And walking out of Across the Spider-Verse, walking out of this movie, which I did see in the theaters, yeah, it's just as amazing as I expected. Like, probably up to the quality of the first movie. As I'm feeling right now, I don't know why I would say this is better than the first one, honestly. Again, still need a bit on that, but as of right now, it's definitely up with the same quality of that, and I already love the original. Also, side note, since this movie's been out for a few years, I will be getting to some spoilers here, so I think I might go into my. I have one part where I'll go into my spoiler 3 thoughts, and then later on I'll get into some major details on the movie. And I'll definitely let you know when we get to the spoiler section in this video. But yeah, so let's get to what's already the biggest plus of this movie, and that is the fact that the animation, this is literally the best looking anime movie I have ever seen in my goddamn life, which I'm just probably going to read the overall arcing positive of this movie. And again, the first one was already beautiful and amazing as it was, but somehow they managed to top it. Like, there's some things where like, how were they able to do that? And that's why we don't hear much comes to actual animation, at least nowadays. But Jesus, there's some moments you wouldn't really actually end up doing or pulling off as well as they do. Just wow, just wow. Like, a lot of moments are just Jesus. Jesus, you know there was so much love and passion put into that animation alone, and obviously there's a lot of passion put into the movie that we'll get into, but the animation itself is definitely going to be the biggest plus of this movie, because it's definitely unlike anything you will ever see, period. Like, and not just like one style, just they go over many different styles in this movie, and that they were able to blend so seamlessly, it's even more shocking. Again, the fact that they actually pulled this off in the first place, again, if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about, with certain scenes, I had my jaw fucking on the floor. Like, how I go, like, Jesus. But yeah, the animation, it's phenomenal. It's freaking phenomenal here, just. I mean, it's the one in the last recent movies that kind of more emulate that Spider-Verse animation, more, Perseverance Last Wave, which is another all-time favorite anime movie that came out recently. But yeah, the animation is amazing. But let's talk about the characters. The voice acting here is fantastic. Everyone involved, they all give their great roles here as well. And there are a lot of characters in this movie, but a lot of them do get time. Even some that aren't really developed do get their time to shine here. Miles Morales is still a very compelling character who goes through a lot of really passionate, emotional stuff throughout the movie, and so Hasbury kind of relates to him as a character, and Shrinkmore is fantastic. Gwen Stacy definitely has a lot more time to shine in this movie, and she already was great in the first one, but she actually kind of like matches screen time with Miles Morales too. It's definitely the her call the main character of the movie, because she gets a lot more screen time here. You get a lot more into her backstory here, honestly, and it's really compelling stuff. And I kind of like her back and forth with Miles throughout the movie. And Miles Morales' parents are great. Or get Peter Parker was great. You also get the villain Spot, who I actually did not know who the villains are going to be. Actually, I never even heard of who the Spot was, but from what I gather, he's kind of more of one of the more jokey type Spider-Man villains. But I thought he was actually utilized very well here, actually. Especially when they do him later in the movie. It's like, ooh, this guy's really, wow. Yeah, obviously won't get details at least till later, but, well, look at that. And from the other Spider-Mans were great as well. Again, Spider-Woman was great. Spider-Man India had a lot of great scenes during moments. Spider-Punk, like, oh my god, Spider-Punk. I fucking love Spider-Punk in this movie. Like, I could not get enough Spider-Punk. Like, get Spider-Punk his own movie, please. Even like Spider-Man 2099 has his moments to shine, especially his kind of back and forth with Miles and his role in the story. Like, it's actually very compelling here in general. All the other characters that are introduced in this movie are great as well. Again, the movie does have a lot of like again, this movie basically has everything that I love from Into Spider-Verse. They were just put into this movie. Like, basically everything you love about the Into the Spider-Verse, it's pretty much put into this movie. Again, from the animation to the fact that it kind of makes fun of a lot of the tropes from Spider-Man, and of course you got that let's do this one more time type of thing that they did in the first movie. They kind of make fun of a lot of tropes from the Spider-Man lore and all the comics and everything, but they don't do it in a way that's like insulting the character. They also do a way that actually honor these tropes and focus on what makes Spider-Man so compelling in the first place. And they do that probably tenfold in this movie, which I can't really say, obviously, because of spoilers, but they do it in a way that I actually was not expecting, honestly. And of course, you get a lot of references to other Spider-Man lore media, getting a lot of different Spider-Mans, like so many references to other Spider-Mans and other Spider-Man lore and everything, just like, holy shit, like, so many different people here, just, it has like so many references to that, but thankfully again, it never felt like it was annoying, honestly, and it felt like it actually mattered to the story, instead of just like, hey, remember this, which is something that's kind of like been apparent as of recently, but I think there's a case where it kind of just doesn't ruin the movie. Again, it really adds more to the movie, but again, Spider-Man had a lot of Spider-Man to honestly, if I was going on the wrong people, it could have been overbloated or not fan service or anything like that, but so the fact that it has a lot of villains and a lot of different characters, they managed to balance it all out pretty well. And yet it still keeps the focus on Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy and their arcs and their characters throughout the movie. and it still keeps that same emotional gut punch that you expect from Into the Spider-Verse, and it has a lot of harrowing and emotional moments, a lot of great voice acting range here, a lot of really like tough back and forth between a lot of different characters. Not mentioning the soundtrack, like the first one is a fucking banger. Like, I debate whether I like this more than the first Spider-Man soundtrack, but Jesus, the soundtrack here and the way they added to a lot of aspects of this movie is freaking incredible. The movie also has that great joking, great humor that from the first one has, probably a lot more hilarious, but it still, when it has begin, when it goes for that high emotions, it works, it delivers, and there definitely were a few moments, especially that I'll definitely go beyond on probably future moments that broke me, honestly, because wow. Just wow, like what these characters go through is really compelling, and a lot of the surprises here that I did not expect this movie to actually even have the balls to go through. But oh my god, like again, that's probably why I wanted to spoil it, because there's so much I really want to say about this movie. But yeah, obviously, yeah, but again, hell, I didn't mind the fact that they kind of ended kind of when the climax is about to start, because again, this is a kind of the first of a two-part movie. But at least we can at least get the next movie in like March next year, so hope I don't jinx myself and that it ends up getting delayed because the writer's strike goes on like that, but at least we won't do like too long for the next Spider-Man movie, at least, for the next one at least. But it's definitely very exciting. It's definitely out the way, and definitely out in the way that doesn't feel like it's actually like frustrating in the way it ended. And whenever we do give you the next one, will depend on whether this movie will get better or worse on when we watch, so we'll see how that goes. But again, pretty much everything I love about Into the Spider-Verse is basically put into this movie just tenfold. And I really don't have any issues with this movie. I really don't find any about bored or disliked, honestly. I'm with you on saying this movie is a freaking masterpiece, in my opinion. Like, it's definitely up there at much more of Spider-Man movies. Again, still a bit when I liked it more than Spider-Verse. Again, I'll probably have to rewatch that to find out, but yeah. But this film, yeah, with this film being my most anticipated movie of the year, it did not disappoint. Okay, so now we get into the spoiler section of this video. I will let you know this is I'm talking about, because there's some moments I do definitely want to talk about in this video that honestly in this video, so keep it warned. I'll leave a spoiler card right here if you want to skip ahead, so keep it warned. So yeah, like oh my god, again, like this movie has like so many freaking references to our Spider-Man media. Like when we see the Spider Society for the first time, you get a lot of different Spider-Mans here. Like you got Cowboy Spider-Man, you get like Spider-Rex, Spider-Horse, that's pretty cool. You can get a lot of different, you can get a freaking Lego Spider-Man that was kind of pretty cool, honestly. I mean, you get into the live action appearance, like you get a freaking Donald Glover providing a portrayal of Aaron Davis, who for now he appeared in Homecoming. Now that's pretty cool. You can get appearance from the Phoenix Storm Order from the Venom universe. That was kind of cool, actually. I mean, you even get a freaking appearance from the short appearance from the Spider-Man from the Insomniac game that came out. Like that was pretty cool. Like you get so many different Spider-Mans, like Metro Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2211, Spider-Man, like so many Spider-Man. You get the classic Spider, like so many Spider-Mans appear here. But again, they never like overtake the story. They never like overtake. I mean, you know, you can get the one from the Spectacular Spider-Man, which I know a lot of people would definitely go like, ah, because you know that I don't know, that show's definitely still beloved, honestly. I actually now would you watch that show after seeing this movie. But I think I like the direction they actually went for with the story, where basically, again, basically, like I mentioned before, the movie basically is kind of shared between Miles and Gwen, because the movie even freaking opens with Gwen Stacy. The movie even opens with Gwen Stacy, which I actually did not expect, actually, as she's struggling to live up to what she's going through and dealing with so much stress and everything, in Spider-Woman and everything, and basically, it was kind of hinted at in the 2018 movie that basically her best friend Peter died, but in this movie they actually feel that she accidentally killed him because he ended up wanting to be a special, so he kind of took something to feel that way, and he ended up rampaging as a lizard and the next day killing him, and basically the officer basically, an officer who was Gwen's father, basically accused her, Spider-Woman, of being the killer. Which, oh boy, and which and again, this movie does touch a lot of stuff we have seen from Spider-Man media, but it's one of the cases where it's like, if it ain't burned, don't fix it, and that's kind of actually interesting kind of to go through here, but I'll get to that in a bit. And basically, yeah, you get a feeling to a freaking Vulture here that was kind of fun and had some hilarious moments of back and forth. In this way, we see Spider-Woman and Miguel O'Hara here as well to help them and everything like that. And yeah, pretty much I'll see where Spider-Woman does reveal herself to the father and they basically escape and not resolve issues. Like, wow, that was. Like when basically ends up joining the Spider Society. Of course, like I mentioned, you get the villain The Spot here, who, how they actually top his backstory and how they implement this through it was great. And he basically was a scientist who basically, after that collider explosion, he basically, at that collider explosion that happened, in the first movie, he basically ends up killing Spot and kind of blamed Miles for it, and anybody was one that actually sent the spider that bit him. Like, bit him when he started in Collider and came from another universe, which it does reveal that spider in the universe actually doesn't have an actual Spider-Man, which that was actually pretty interesting, actually. Like, damn, that makes Spider a lot more compelling villain. Again, he wants to take more seriously and doesn't want to feel like it's just a villain of the week. Like, even Miles kind of jokes about that throughout most of the movie. That he's not there. I'm not just a villain of the week, which I thought was actually a nice way to make Spot feel more threatening. And then Gwen ends up connecting Miles, it gets some nice moments between them and everything, but basically, again, when she knows that basically Gwen says, but in other Earths don't really end well, which, let's forget, they really don't. Ends up tracing Spot, and Spot ends up causing more havoc, and going to India, where we get to meet Spider-Man India as well. And also Spider-Punk as well. Again, as mentioned before, Spider-Punk stole every scene that he was in by his limited screen time. So it was also voiced by Daniel Kaluuya here, which also makes his charisma even more impressive. Like, so many fun lines from him, and it's kind of back and forth with Gwen and Miles throughout the movie. And even Spider-Man India also has great moments as well. And I especially like the design of Spider-Man India here. And they basically end up trying to save everybody from destruction and everything with some killer action set pieces, and then this is just Miles ends up saving the father of Patia's girlfriend, who was a police captain. Then it leads to something that I did not expect the balls of the movie to do. Is that basically in every Spider-Man there's always like a big sad canon event that happens where a lot of their uncles died and a lot of their uncles or point family members died, which led them to kind of be on the path to be Spider-Man, or someone that's kind of a born thing to go through while being Spider-Man, which, I mean, we can get some on-purpose from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield dealing with those events, which I thought was actually pretty cool. Actually, they actually did that. I was like, like seeing the emotions, of course, dealing with their Uncle Ben or their father, and a lot of times the fathers end up dying when they go, basically end up being promoted to a police captain, or basically experiencing deaths of a police captain that is close to Spider-Man. And then the fact that Miles saved him, it pretty much like threatens the forever universe, and now everything kept falling apart, which, again, I didn't expect them to need the balls to do that, but damn, that's actually a nice way to go deep into Spider-Man more, and it makes me really dig, actually, I'm not gonna lie. Like, whoa, and the way they explain it to Miles, trying to let that easy, and him knowing that his dad is definitely going to be dying soon as well, which is a key event. Especially when he sees visions of that, like, it's heartbreaking. It's genuinely heartbreaking to see Miles having to process all that, and he obviously doesn't want that to happen, obviously, but here's that the canon stuff's gonna happen, like. And of course, he's gonna try to escape. He gets some nice moments between certain characters. He definitely gets some nice moments between certain characters, especially this nice moment between Miles and Peter Parker, who, by him had kind of less of a role here, does have some moments, especially the fact that he's now a parent now, and takes his baby on missions, and he goes to get that So that's fun, like, terrible mental type of jokes, but again, they don't feel overused or anything, but those are fun moments, honestly. And the video was so dark, by the way, as well. Like, oh my god. And you get some incredible action set pieces amount of trying. So that's just one involving a train. And Miguel, like, Miguel's ruthless here. Miguel's ruthless here, honestly. And you also get a lot more of his backstory as well, where basically a different version of him being Spanish when that died, and he also strayed from canon, and he replaced a certain Batman when that died, but then ended up like ruining everything. Which yeah, makes kind of both Miles and Morales kind of Miguel basically being both in the right and the wrong here. That's one of the things crazy is like you can never understand where they're coming from at least. You can understand where Miguel's coming from, you can understand where Miles is coming from. Which again always makes stuff more compelling here as well. Especially when he eventually Miles said that you're the original anomaly, that he was never supposed to be Spider-Man. Again, the appeal of the world that Spider-Man, the bitch that Spider bit him, has no Spider-Man. Which, well, again, that was heartbreaking to watch, especially when even Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy apparently knew about it. Like, just, wow, the heartbreak on how they go through. Wow. Then he's trying to escape and everything, and then he returns to basically his home. And then Gwen ends up basically returning home, where he basically has a long reconciliation with his father. And then he's like, wait, you're not Captain anymore? No, but I'm Captain. Which made us realize, oh. Also, it can't, this isn't canon. Ah. And then basically leads with a launch that Hobie went, that Spider-Punk went for her, by the way. And also another big surprise, which I did not see coming at all, honestly, where we see Miles basically trying to have this big emotional speech, which is a pretty emotional stuff and stuff that really just, oh my god. But he tries to reveal to his mom that he is Spider-Man, and he does, but it's like, who's Spider-Man? And that gets confusing. It's like, and he's just like, oh no, he's not on his Earth. Like, I was not expecting that. Just when we see his uncle, with this basically his uncle Aaron is alive, that his father's already died, and then he drives on Earth 42, which is the world's better than him. Then Aaron interrogates that Miles, and then we see the Miles of Earth 42, where he's the Prowler in this universe. Like, it gets some pretty scary stuff here. And then it ends with God basically beginning his attack on everything, and then it gets also emotional scene with Gwen and Miles' parents, but they still don't know that he's Spider-Man. And then we see Gwen 14, where it went from Peter B. Parker, his daughter Mayday, Spider-Man India, Spider-Punk, Manga, who was Spider-Bite, who was the person that did help Miles go back to the world. And of course, seeing Spider-Noir and Penny Parker and Spider-Ham, which is fortunate they weren't in the movie until now, honestly, but I get into his voice acting stuff, but I'm sure they'll have bigger roles in the next movie, or maybe they were saving them in this movie, but, and it's right there. But yeah, I'm sure this is something that's going to be frustrating for a lot of people, but especially that we have Fast X recently, and that also got handed kind of like on when the movie was about to go to the climax, but honestly, I really mind it, honestly, and as long as you know this is a part 1 or 2, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be frustrating, honestly, and I think the quality of the movie that will depend on whether or not the sequel really delivers. And truthfully, I have all the faith in the world that they are going to deliver. I have all the faith in the world, and this is Phil and Chris Miller we're talking about here as well, who, by all some of the best writers working in Hollywood nowadays. These writers are fantastic. And they go for that crazy fast-paced humor, but it's not in a way to where it's like the way it's like frustrating or annoying, honestly. Everybody, and this is the same people that done Cans of Meatballs, the Jump Street movies, the Lego movie, and even the freaking Into the Spider-Verse, and they're also writing Beyond the Spider-Verse. So, truthfully, I have no doubt in the freaking world that they are going to deliver. That they are going to truly deliver a great, satisfying conclusion that's going to lead to some pretty more genuine emotional moments. These characters, who knows, they might all still, I don't know if they still have that amazing top themselves with the emotions and the animation that they already did. Like, and we might get just like an incredible superhero trilogy. Like, that's crazy. That is crazy to think of that. But yeah, and that's all I can really say about Across the Spider-Verse. Again, fantastic movie all around, and easy 108 plus. Like, by far, it's probably my favorite movie of the year so far. And this is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and positive for me about The Flash. It's probably that proved that, hey, superhero movies can be good. Just try to do something different with them. Just don't do the same old things over and over again. I think that's probably what people I gain from superhero fatigue. It's not about the fact that we're getting so many of them. It's because some of them kind of feel very samey, and as someone who enjoyed a lot of movies, even I can admit that some of them can feel a little bit samey. I mean, it's still enjoyable, but still samey nonetheless. But I think it's definitely proved that if you try something different, if you go for something different, audiences will be won over. And this and Volume 3 and The Flash pretty much proved that. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my review on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Let me know down below in the comment section what are your thoughts on this movie. Have you seen it? I would definitely know how you feel about this movie down below. Do you love more of the first one? Are you excited for the third one coming out next year? Let me know down below, and at some point this week I will also be doing a ranking video on all the Spider-Man movies, and I am going to include the Venom movies and Morbius as well, so stay tuned for that coming up very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, I truly appreciate it. I am Sim One World from Sim World Productions. I will see you next time. As always, stay cool everybody. Peace.